Hello and good day everyone, especially to our instructor, Sir Markham. And I am Michelle Cafe and together with my co-reporter Marvin Manlangit, we are going to discuss the laws and policies on violence and discrimination of the members of LGBTQ+. So first, here are the learning objectives. First is determine the various Philippines laws and policies for protection of rights of members of LGBTQ+. Two, identify the different and anti-discriminatory laws and policies. And number three, know the acts leading to violation of these laws and policies. So first, let us define first what is law. So, law, it has a system of rules, lays down standard to which we ought to conform, legal rule, moral rule, and social convention. Difference is failure to adhere to legal rules may result in penalty. Law is never static, it's always changing. So first is the protection of um, the 1987 Constitution, Equal Protection and Clause. So it states that the value of dignity of every person and guarantees full respect for human rights. Bisag unsa pa ka, ang imong preference nag-stand sa sa imong society, we should respect at each other. There is no discrimination dapat. So, another is, apart from this, the 1987 Constitution enshrines in its due process and equal protection clauses that no person shall deprive of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall only person be denied the equal protection of laws. So, ang tao ko no dapat there has a equal protection, walay dapat dapigan or unsa ba diha. So it is called the fundamental, so the 1987 Constitution also, it is also called the fundamental law of land. Next is ang Ladlad case. Ang Ladlad LGBTQ+ versus Comelec, GR 19058 and April 2010. It was considered the breadth of equal protection and clause in the Constitution. So, ang Ladlad, it is an organization, people who identify themselves as lesbian, gays, bisexual, or transgenders. So, the Comelec dismissed the petition on moral grounds, as the definition of the LGBTQ sector make it crystal clear that it tolerates immorality of which offend religious beliefs. So, in that accreditation or the case, it is justified the inclusion by using religious dogma violated the constitutional guarantees against the establishment of the religion, including its constitutional rights to privacy, freedom of speech and assembly, and equal protection of laws, as well as the constituted violation of the Philippines international obligation against discrimination based on the sexual orientation. So next is the violence and discrimination. So despite widespread anecdotal evidence of crimes perpetrated against LGBTQ+ community in the Philippines, most data on these cases have not undergone official verification and collation. So in violence and discrimination, especially for nowadays, the discrimination is very prone to LGBTQ+. So there are government agency implement a violence and this allows that is a protection of the LGBTQ+ in our society or in our nation. So that would be all my part, and the violence and discrimination against LGBTQ+ Youth and Education will be discussed by co-reporter Marvin Manlangit.
Morning everyone, especially to our instructor, Sir Markin Rebel. This is the continuation of our topic about the violence and discrimination against LGBTQ plus in youth and education. Um, Before anything else, we have a law about Anti-Bullying Act of 2013 or the Republic Act 10627. Um, Bago ang lahat, alamin muna natin kung ano yung Republic Act 10627. Um, President Benigno Aquino III has signed a Republic Act 10627 or the Anti-Bullying Act of 2013, which requires all elementary and secondary school to adopt policies that will prevent and addresses bullying in the school. So, sa act na to, binibigyan ng karapatan yung mga halimbawa, mga bakla o kaya yung tumboy na sa pag-aaral, hindi sila sa act na ito pwede nang makapag-aral yung mga LGBTQ+ na walang halong pagbubuli, kasi pag nakasaad din sa batas nito kung halimbawa ang anak mo ay isang member ng LGBTQ+, tas binubuli sa school, so mayroon siyang karapatan para magsampa ng yung magulang ng bata, kasi nakasaad sa batas na to kung paano pinapangalagaan ng ating gobyerno ang karapatan ng mga LGBTQ+ sa pag-aaral. Next is the Child Protection Policy. In Child Protection Policy, it includes articles on number 1, the organization view toward their children and youth. Number 2, how adults and children are expected to interact with each other. Number 3, detailed procedures for reporting suspicious and incidents. Number 4, how and whom investigation will be led. And the last is the procedure for communicating keeping the children safe and secure. Next is the letter C, special protection of children against child abuse, exploitation and discrimination Act of 1992 or the Anti-Child Abuse Act or the RE 7610. So, anong ibig sabihin ng act na to? Yung Republic Act na ito, yung 7610. It is an act for stronger deterrence and special protection against child abuse, exploitation, and discrimination, providing penalties for its violations and for all other purposes. So, yung act na to ay nakapokus talaga sa mga bata. Yung i-discriminate yung mga LGBTQ+, bawal yun, kasi pag nangyari yun, lalo na pag bata, pwede siyang kasuhan kasi may karapatang parusa ang bawat ng isang bata, especially kung LGBTQ+ sa school, sa isang paaralan. Next is the violence and discrimination against LGBTQ+ in the workplace. We have letter A, the Labor Code of the Philippines or the PD 442. Ano yung ibig sabihin ng Presidential Decree 442? It is a decree instituting a labor code to revise and consolidating labor and social laws to afford protection to labor, promote employment and human resources development, and ensure industrial peace based on social justice. It is also known as the Labor Code of the Philippines. So halimbawa, nag-a-apply yung isang member ng LGBTQ+ sa isang pabrika. Pero sinasabi niyang siya, babae. Babae. Pero yung talagang kasarian niya ay lalaki. Siyempre, LGBTQ+ siya. Sasabihin niya talaga na babae na siya. Kasi transgender na siya. So, ang tanong, may karapatan ba siyang mamasukan or mag-apply ng isang trabaho? According sa Labor Code of the Philippines, lahat ng klase, lahat ng uri ng tao may karapatan na magtatrabaho. Kasi nakasaad sa Labor Code of the Philippines na ano man yung kasarian mo, babae ka man, lalaki, bakla or tumboy, may karapatan kang mamasukan as long as ikaw ay isang Pilipino. The next one is the CEC number 01-0940 or the Civil Service Commission's policy on anti-sexual harassment. On May 21, 2011, the Administrative Disciplinary Rules or Sexual Harassment Cases is promulgated. It defines the administrative offense of sexual harassments and prescribes the standard procedure for the administrative investigation, prosecution, and reduction of sexual harassment cases in the public sector. Next is name and gender market changes. A case of Silverio 2007. In this case, the Supreme Court ruled that there is no mistake to be corrected as the birth record is not in dispute as the sex of the person was determined by birth attendant at the time of birth. Sino tong si Silverio? Bakit napasama to sa gender market changes? Silverio filed a petition for the changes of his first name. His name in the birth is Romel Jacinto, and he would like to change his name into Meli, and his sex from male to female. He filed in the RTC of Manila. He alleged that he is automatically male by things and act like a female. The issue is whether or not a change in the name and sex interest in the birth certificate are allowed by reason of sex reassignment. The ruling is the Supreme Court answered no. A change of name is a privilege or not a right. Sa kaso na to, si Silverio, Romel Silverio ay isang lalaki. Lalaki siya pinanganak. Tas nang lumaki siya, para napipil niya na lalaki lang siya sa panlabas na anyo. Pero yung yung nasa loob niya, iniisip niya na siya talaga isang babae. Kaya nag-file siya ng petition. Pero binaliktad ng Korte Suprema kasi wala naman talaga sa batas na yung pwede mong palitan yung sex. And halimbawa lalaki ka tas papapalitan mo ng female. So ang kanyang petition ay reject ng Korte Suprema. The next is the case of Jennifer Kagandahan in 2008. The court ruled in favor of a named Jeep Kagandahan on the ground that Jeep had an intersex variation, congenital adrenal hyperplasia or CAH. Um, this Jennifer Kagindahan was registered as a female on the certificate of live birth. But while growing up, she developed secondary male characteristic and was diagnosed to have a congenital adrenal hyperplasia. Ito ay isang genetic disorder kung saan yung isang tao ay nagkakaroon ng second kind of characteristic. Halimbawa, itong si Jeff Kagandahan ay isang babae, isa tong babae pinanganak, pero nang lumaki siya, nakita niya na parang may kakaiba. Parang may nakita siyang characteristic bilang isang babae. Kaya nagawa niyang mag-file ng petition na palitan yung niya, yung pangalan at saka yung sex niya into gusto niyang palitan yung pinanganak siya nung pinanganak siyang lalaki ay babae. Jennifer nga yung kagandahan yung pangalan. Gusto niyang palitan ng gusto niyang palitan bilang Jeff, at yung pero nung dinulog niya sa Korte Suprema ay dinijik lang talaga siya ng Korte Suprema, kasi kahit may may medical record na may nakitang may nakitang characteristic bilang isang lalaki. Pero dahil yung congenital adrenal hyperplasia, isang genetic disorder, hindi tinugon ng Korte Suprema ang kanyang petition. Bagkus ay i-reject lang ito kasi wala sa Korte Suprema na pwedeng magpalit ng pangalan at yung kasarian ng isang individual. Yun lang po, at maraming salamat po sa pakikinig.